What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends? This is Coach E on behalf of Perfect Time Fitness and Meal Prep. We are accepting new clients on both sides. Now, on that personal training side, we are located at Fit Circuit. That is 22141 Rockside Road, Bedford Heights, Ohio, 44146. Now, we do offer one-on-one personal training, group training, one-on-one boxing cardio class. That is noon every Saturday, sports-specific training, and weight loss. On that meal side, we do offer personalized meal prep, catering, charcuterie boards, fresh fruit and vegetable juicing. Now, for us to get in touch with you and for you to get in touch with us, reach out to us on www.perfecttimefitness.com and sign up for those things previously mentioned. We are waiting to hear from you and can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for reaching out in advance. Peace.
Break.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Coach E Game 4 All Seasons, brought to you by Perfect Time Fitness with your boy Coach E, local neighborhood high school basketball coach, local neighborhood high school track coach, local neighborhood high school football coach. Also, B, most importantly, co-CEO, El Presidente at Perfect Time Fitness and Meal Prep, head trainer at Perfect Time Fitness by way of Fit Circuit. Now, www.perfecttimefitness.com is where you need to go, Rick. Get you some sessions, get you some food by Miss Sharon.
Okay.
Do whatever you need to do, but no matter what, go to that website.
All right.
Now that we got all the business out the way, I got two assistant coaches to help me out with this thing on my left and my far left. My far left, I got Zen. What's up, Zen?
Hey, I see Mel in the building, man. This time, I need you to make me look good this time. All right? Let's get that straight off top. Now, we got some guests in the building. Hold up. Wait a minute. Did you tell the folks where we recording from?
Live at Magna Wine Boutique, 661 Broadway Avenue, Bedford, Ohio, downtown Bedford, that is, 44146. Deb over there in the corner, still holding it down for us. Come see Deb. Come see Brittany. They'll take care of all of your wine connoisseur needs. My bad, Zen. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, we got, since we at Magna, you know, every time we at Magna, we got a guest. This one's supposed to be a special guest. Look, hey, no pressure, no pressure. When he presented it to me, he said, hey, Zen, man, Cat Williams, Club Shay Shay, Coach Hurd ain't got nothing on this. So your stories is going to give us 50 million views. All right? That's what I'm hearing, all right? No pressure, all right? Hey, it's just the future of our podcast in your hands, sir.
That's all. Small thing to a giant.
But what's good, fellas?
This live taping at Magna, that's always what's good. On my closest left, he is BC Byron, Cavs, as he always say.
Yeah.
What's up, B Sizzle?
What up, be scared? Yo, first of all, I tell these people I'm excited. Not only that, you know, the Cavs the hottest team in basketball. I've been saying that. But, you know, I'm feeling good because of the Baker Mayfield revenge tour. We ain't going to talk about
Oh,
that.
my God.
But Ricky Perez personally flew up here to say, did I see his play in the Pro Bowl? I was like, of course I did. But it's not your boy, but your favorite grown-ass man, Mr. Taboo Timmons. And I'm excited because we are in Magna and we have guests in the house. So no best behavior is allowed.
Well, since you got so much energy, I'm going to go ahead and pass the energy to my far right. Y'all know him. Y'all heard him plenty of episodes of this thing. our favorite co-host is in the building. Took a flight all the way up here from Dallas, Texas, just to be here this evening. I want to give a live shout out to my homeboy Ricky Perez.
What's happening? Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
Pretty Ricky, what they call me.
Yeah, I had to. When you told me this was going down, I was like, oh, I'll fly up for that one. Let's go.
And on my closest left, y'all know him, but it's a lot of people out there that don't know him. This man right here is one of the pillars in my life. What a role model this man has been since the age of 14. I'm telling you, 14 years old. He had to deal with a young, hothead Coach E. He had to deal with that right off the gate. But he did great. And he showed me how to tame myself. And the way I coach basketball now, I picked up a lot of stuff from him. I try and model damn near everything I do. I still run the same plays that he ran with us. They still work today. So that lets you know the game ain't passing by. The legend is still a legend. And he is in the building. Coach Everett Hurd, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Everett Hurd. Welcome, Coach Hurd.
How you doing?
Good.
Glad to be here. You know, I got my good friend Ricky Perez and Evan, so, you know, I had to be here, to talk up a little bit about Bedford.
That's good. So, Ricky Perez,
Yes.
how do we start off every episode with a guest?
How did you meet Coach E?
Can you remember that?
Oh, you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who
question
y'all
already.
was at. How did I meet him? Well, I tell you what, we saw him in football, and we knew that he was good and big in football. But really, when it came to basketball, we needed another big power forward. And unfortunately, it was a situation because he had an older brother who was a senior and he was a freshman. Now his brother was 5'9", 5'10", 160, a power forward, and Evan was 6'3", 6'4", 225, just like he is now. So we made the decision that we talked to him and said, man, you want to start? All you got to do is go in there and grab rebounds and do it, and he's grabbing rebounds like they were McDonald's burgers, man. He's
Ate 'em up.
snatching them off the rim. So he started. So I kind of met him through that. Evan, like you said, didn't say much. Wasn't much. He's quiet. Took care of his business, with his hands and his body. So he didn't need to talk. But yeah, that's when I first met him and really, got to know him.
So it's a double question. Since we got Ricky Perez live in the flesh, how did you get to know Ricky Perez?
Well, like you said, Ricky came in the era whereas we already knew about him from middle school. Mm-hmm. He was the big man. He was the man at the middle school, and he came up. And like I said, me being a football, basketball, and track coach, I always gravitated to the people that did all three sports. And, Ricky was somebody that was very coachable, always worked hard. Now, we had our disagreements sometime in basketball.
Oh, I remember.
Basketball, you can only play so many people.
Right.
But, Ricky was always on time, always at practice, always worked hard, always did the right things. And the thing that I remember most, like I said, his ability in football, basketball, track, all right, but it was the conversations we used to have, man to man, just being in the phys ed room in the gym, and we just carrying on conversations about life. And that's what I really remember most about him, that he was mature enough that we could carry on adult conversations about life, where we were going, where we're headed, where we've been, and so on.
That's one thing I always respect about Coach Hurd. He, like he said, he would, other people he would talk to them and stuff, but with me he just kept it like 100. It was very, sometimes it was no chaser, but that's what I could handle. And I think going my coaching career, I always kept it that way with my players too, because I learned that from him. So.
Well, as we were talking before, and I was just sitting there getting teary-eyed because he's telling my wife my wife for 48 years, you know. Been together for 52 years, you know. And,
Talk your talk.
you know,
Yeah.
but you know, he was just talking how he had these interpersonal relationships with all these athletes. And like I said, to me, a lot of people get into, what do you teach? Are you a teacher of math, this and that? No, you teach a life.
Yeah.
And like I said, part of that is getting into them conversations like that, and that made me feel good.
So to add to that story, so I remember I was in 8th grade, and Coach H, I come into the locker room in Heskett. Coach Wiggs sitting there, and Coach H is there. And H called me in. He like, come here, and sit me down. And he had a full suit on, so he's sitting there. And he's
H
like,
had a
yeah,
full suit on?
with his leg crossed.
Hondo.
He was like, so where you going to high school next year? And I was like, I'm going to Bedford. He's like, okay, you know, we really, we'd like to have you at the school. We know you got some talent, but, you know, that's the conversation I got with H. So now my cousin, Tony, at the time, was student teaching at Bedford. So he saw her come pick me up and take me to the basketball games. So I saw her call me in the office. You coming to Bedford, right? Yeah. All right, man, I want to hear about you, this Euclid, and going to Benedictine, and Ed. Like, you come over here to Bedford, all right? All right. That's the conversation I had with her. And I was just like,
Hey,
okay.
don't sound like too much of a
No.
conversation.
I want to hear about you going to Benedictine. You in Bedford. I'll see you next year. So I remember that's the conversation I had heard about coming to Bedford.
So I'm gonna return the favor. I always do when we have a guest, and when they answer how did they get to meet Coach E. When I met Coach Hurd was my 8th grade year at Heskett playing basketball at Twinsburg, the middle school. We were in the championship game against Matt. He was 6'10" already in the 8th grade, white cat. So he always heard about Anton, Camille, Jamin, me, and another cat named Keenan. So he finally came to see us play because he knew some cats on varsity was going to be out of some spots that next year. So he came to scout out the talent. So everybody pointed him out. That's when Coach Payne was still coaching.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, y'all got to put on a show. Coach Hurd over there, that's a varsity coach. Y'all might be playing varsity next year. So that was our last game of the year. We were 19-0 at that point. We won that game, won that championship, ended up being 20-0. So then that's when we started going to Heights in the summertime, Shaker in the summertime.
Yeah.
So I was able to show him and prove to him it didn't matter what situation he put me in. I was always ready to go. No matter what the age was of the opponent or whatever, how big the stage was, I was just always ready to go. And I was willing to do the dirty work, like he just said.
Yep.
I don't need all the press clippings. I don't need all the points. You're just going to feel my presence on the court. So that was my whole goal, to impress him, and it ended up working. Got 4 years of varsity out of it. Wouldn't trade it for the world, man.
I remember the summer times going to Heights and Shaker.
Them were
I
some
remember-
battles, dude.
And he would throw you in. I remember he threw me. I'm playing like opposite Doc
Mm-hmm.
in the 8th grade. He like, get in there. Let me see what you got. And I remember when you came that one time, it was like I don't care. Ed. Some movies would tell you have to get Ed piped up. Like
That was my question.
you have to.
Yeah, that was my question.
He would play, but then you'd be like, yo, why you acting like a little, you know? and
Go
you like
say it,
punching-
say it.
Why you acting like a little bitch right now? Y'all
Yeah.
right. And you like
Sorry.
punch him in his chest or something like that, and Ed would be like, all right. Like I said, I remember I told us we was at Euclid in the summertime.
Yeah, I definitely remember
And
that
I
one.
remember Trey said something to you before we went out on the floor.
He literally said, all right now, Ev, don't be going out there acting like no hoe. We need you to play. We ain't got no other big man. You might have to play all day.
Cause this is freshman year, you
Yeah.
know, you young.
So he always played with this gentle demeanor. Cause first time I seen him, I heard stories. Everybody in Grand Falls Park, they Evan E. Oh, he crazy. Oh. So when I seen him and he went up, he was about to do something nasty, and then he just laid it in the basket. Like he was about to slam hard, and he just laid it in the basket. Like I had never seen a big
Well,
man that gentle.
This time, I'm talking. It was a tip. I forgot who shot it. It was like B. Brandon Reed or somebody. And I watched the ball. It bounced, and I'm looking at the rebound. All of a sudden, Ev come out right in the middle. boom, tip dunk, two hands, and I was like, well, damn.
Like, was it a tip dunk?
No,
or was
it was-
wham with the right
No,
hand.
it
like
was,
you say?
it was wham, like, yeah.
It was an actual dunk.
Yes.
Okay, because that was the second time I seen. First time he was just I mean, finger rolling, all graceful like a like a ballerina or something. I'm like, man, this
You
is
know,
too
I'm-
big to do that.
I'm a very calculated dude,
Yeah.
so you gotta set it up.
Okay, that's
So
what
if
it was
somebody see me do that and just lay it in, they like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna jump with him next time.
Yeah.
So I want you to jump with
Yeah.
me next time.
doing. That makes sense.
So I
That's
could possibly
exactly what
break
happened.
your arm the second time.
That's exactly what happened.
It
You didn't
is.
break no arms, but you almost shattered the glass.
That was the
That's
goal.
crazy. I was like, oh, okay, that's how you done.
And then
Yeah.
like I remember some of the teams, you know, Coach Hurd had, you know, when, you know, AWOL, Bird. This is from my years what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was Carnell Sledge, God rest his soul, and Andre Frizzell, Cheesy.
Cheese.
But y'all year, it was you, Pat Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Rick Mahorn and like them dudes, man. You look down low, you like, yo, I ain't going to the paint. Like
Yes.
Pat and Ev. And then you had Keenan, who's like a dancing bear.
Yeah.
Like he was like Zebo. That's what he played like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Jamin playing the three, who was
6'6"
like
cat.
6'6", drive the lane, shoot the three. You know, he bang a little bit, but that wasn't Jamin's forte.
That wasn't his game.
Throw it back out to me so I could, you know, I'll shoot it up again.
Hey.
But he's still
6'6",
6'6".
160 though.
No, what's it?
160.
Yeah, he's
But
little
like-
Boy was skinny as that pole for the camera.
That's the front line.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That was the front line of that team. So like when, you know, and people, I tell people all the time, my years, we had like 200 people out for a basketball tryout, but you only really like 2 spots. Am I lying?
Used to be a lot.
Yeah.
Used to be a lot.
Like 2 spots. And if you knew the 2, like, who's gonna be the 2 dudes this year? that was on the team.
Right. That wasn't gonna play.
That was not
They
gonna
was just
play.
gonna sit there.
And Herb would be like, look, you on the team, not gonna get a lot of playing time, but you on the team.
Take it or
You
leave it.
know what? Because it's a lot of times now that the thing about coaches now, they keep 8, 9, 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, simply because they don't want to hear the parents or the, people complain. I used to keep 15 or 16. I still thought, you know, that number one, it was worthwhile for somebody to be on the team. Number two, you know, it didn't bother me if the 16th person was a person that could add something to some of the starting 5, something to the other people that was on the team. So I thought a lot about that, and plus they belong to something. And you'd be surprised, them 13, 14, 15 people, and what they learned with being disciplined, showing up to work every day, knowing that you're going to have to bust your butt, and I may not play. It really helps them out in their lives afterwards, and they're flourishing. They're doing very well. Yeah. So, you know, I've always bothered me, you know, about the coaches that, you know, I'm just going to keep 10 because I don't want to deal with the hassle. I dealt with the hassle.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of you, Rick. You brought up our senior year, so that was a special year for us too, right here. So I'm gonna take it back to the first game, that Twinsburg game. You remember the hoopla? We had warm-up shirts, and that was back in the day when airbrush shirts was
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing. You go to Randall Park, they do your airbrush, put whatever you want on the shirt.
No, we'd be mad if dudes didn't have their like, why you had your airbrush
Hey,
shirt? No,
dude.
you gotta go get your airbrush shirt. Like,
You might get jumped.
yeah, you ain't coming out with the team if you ain't. You gonna wait until we get done warming up, then you
Right.
can come out like, get your shirt.
Right. So we had an idea. We got together as a group and said, let's put State Bound on our shirts.
I remember that.
That's cocky.
One would say. But we had all the confidence in the world in ourselves and in our coach that we knew we was going, no matter what happened that whole season, no matter what the journey was, no matter how many games we lost, as long as we got hot at the right time and in the playoffs. So that very first game, we was in Twinsburg. We always opened up out there. And we came out of the locker room with those shirts on. Twinsburg immediately started booing us. And we heard everybody talking like, man, why they got them shirts on? Who they think they are? So sorry we put you in a weird situation, but Did you even think about that? Like, did you get upset at us for that, or did you understand where we were coming from?
No, not really. I understood where y'all was coming from because in the course of my career at Bedford, it went from not being allowed to wear any type of black. in our outfits or colors of our shirts to all of a sudden y'all was doing that. What was unique? Because to me in my career at Bedford, there's about 4 or 5 unique groups. All right, and your group was unique because once again we played in the state championship.
And you had 6 dudes that probably playing varsity since their 10th grade year.
Right. But that whole year, it was a funny year because we played a big time schedule.
Yeah.
And I remember going into the tournaments, I'm sitting them down, and I'm going to them saying, "Hey man, we're 15-7, lost 7 damn games, this and that. We supposed to be undefeated. If we don't do something in the state, it's been a sorry ass year, and it's been a disappointment." And I remember Chambers coming up to me like, "Damn man, do you realize everything you said?" And I said, "Man, I believed in it, man. Forget all this stuff, man. They cats, we're good and we're not showing it." And I remember to the day we was over at Euclid playing. We played Brush first of all, blew them out, which is no big deal. But our next game was against Minner, and Minner was, white cats that can shoot and do all that, and they had like a 20-point lead at halftime.
Yep.
And I remember Evan coming out saying they ain't getting no more rebounds. I remember Pat Washington walking past me saying, "Coach, you ain't got to worry about any balls. Me and Evan got every rebound coming off." Anton came to me, "Hey man, I know I had my problems with Camille. I know how to deal with this. Ain't gonna be no problems no more. Birch, whatever you need me to do, whatever you need me to do, I'll do." And I said, "Camille, let's roll." And like I said, we went out there in that second half where we just destroyed Minner.
Yeah.
And, the rest is history. We went to that regional, and Shaw beat us twice.
Yeah.
Shaw beat us, blew us. Matter of fact, we finished 3rd in the conference that year. Shaw beat us twice, and Warrensville beat us twice. And
Whoa. We got 2 Tigers over here. So,
they did. They did. I give them that.
Damn Tigers,
I
man.
give them that. They did. But it was great. The LEL was great then.
Yeah.
They was playing well. We was playing well. And like I said, it was just a lot of excitement. We had a person named Doug Rios came back from one of them private schools, and we added him onto the team, and everybody just fell into their roles. We had this cat used to take charges. All he did was take charges.
Shout out
sit
Jamal
to the
Ingram.
Hospital every day.
Jamal
Every
Ingram.
game he would
I remember Jamal.
he would take them charges, take 2 or 3 charges a game. Everybody just played their role, and it was just the greatest role. That was the greatest role that we did for basketball.
And
So,
I'm glad you brought that Minner game up because a little underline, Rick, a lot of people didn't know. When we were down by 20 going into the locker room, I kicked a chair on the sideline, broke my toe, played the rest of the season with a broken toe. Didn't miss a step, didn't miss a beat. But that game right there, when we were on the way to that game, on the bus that was at Euclid, we was on the way to the game, Camille brought all of us in the back of the bus. And Camille
He don't do that.
He don't do that.
Yeah.
He never was a vocal leader. He was just a quiet, follow my lead with my play kind of leader. He pulled us all back there and said, "You know what, man? I'm tired of being local. Like if we lose tonight, we just gonna be another local Bedford team. So I'm tired of being local. Let's win tonight so we can go to Akron. Once we leave Akron, we can go to Columbus." So that part already.
That's some real stuff. Right
Yeah,
there.
so
see, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
stuff I didn't know about.
And that's so like
Camille.
that's so
out of
opposite.
character, but yeah, like
Totally.
that, yeah.
That's totally out of character
And-
for Camille.
And that's what got everybody to that level. Like, no matter what we got to do, we got to do it because this dude said something like that. You never heard him say nothing else up until that point. And after that point, he didn't say nothing else. But that moment he found the courage or whatever he did, he found it and told us, and we all just said, man, you know what, you right. And we followed his lead.
Fell into place.
Yeah.
It's funny because that I kind of felt like that in track.
Mm-hmm.
And what Herb was talking about, like, just, no, it's expected. Like, that's how
Right.
we were at track. Like, nah, man, like, y'all win. Like, what are you talking? Like, we're going.
Right.
He's always saying, this is my vacation. Y'all better give me my vacation at the end of the school year. Like,
Tell him. That's all I talked about. I want to eat. I want to eat on Bedford. I
Right.
want to sleep on Bedford. Yeah, we're gonna eat good, buddy.
He was like,
We gonna eat good.
give me my vacation at the end of the school year. And we was like, all right, we got you.
But see now you start talking about track. Now you're going to a different subject.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, they didn't want anybody to know they're from Bedford. So these cats would wear their uniforms all backwards.
Talking about parents about this.
They do all this goofy stuff, and we would sit there, and we would sit there and say, well, long they winning, they ain't gonna say shit. You know?
So he ain't lying. So we would go to track meets, and I have my green Bedford warm-ups on, but I have like a plain black, like a skull cap. Nothing would say Bedford. So we looked at it like Superman coming out the booth. When it's time to line up for the 4x1, it's
Yeah.
oh yeah, we here. Like we used to go to the bullpen, and they giving out lane assignments. They'd be like Bedford. We'd be like, we know lane 4. Cause that's the hot. We know lane 4. We got it. We were talking so much trash at district. We was playing the No Limit. One of them No Limit CDs in the bullpen.
They had 20 CDs a week.
And so, and so the next day, and Herb was like, man, who was over there in the bullpen playing music all loud and stuff like that? Man, who was doing that? We like, I don't even know, Coach. Who was up there doing? But that's just the attitude we had. But it came from, because what did he just say? I expected. And that's how we, but it was like that from, I remember when y'all when I was in the 8th grade, when Bedford was putting in the track, and they had to practice at Haskett.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
So you saw it then.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that crew.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s Bedford track team.
Yeah, that was
Girls and boys.
Yeah,
that
girls
was-
and
Girls
boys.
and boys.
that was a different level
I
there.
remember I was talking to some girls or something like that, and one of the sprinters came over and was like, "Hey, what you doing? Don't you gotta get ready for a race?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, get your ass up there and go. Why you over here talking?
Mhm.
They was at practice, and I'm at a middle school meet. I'm an 8th grader, like, oh, okay. But that's just what was expected.
That was expected.
Yeah, you better wear Mizuno spikes, like, or don't bring no Nike
Mizunos.
spikes.
Mizuno.
You gotta take them off. Don't wear them out here.
So since we was already on the track state conversation, we'll wind that back to the basketball situation. How did you feel once we won in Akron and finally clinched that victory to make your first trip down the states for basketball instead of just track?
I tell you what, it felt good because it's track. Once again, I'm not saying that it's easier to make it down the state in track than it is in basketball.
Yeah, totally.
Because all you got to do is have one person off, one person have a subpar game, and it can mess everything up in basketball.
Especially coming from this area.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
South, that was a mini state meet.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't, like, think about all the state winners that came out of Heights,
Right.
like Shaker. Like, if you came out of Heights or that tournament,
That tournament,
you was going
was
to go
there.
to state.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that made me feel good was that there wasn't that many black head coaches back, with public schools,
Damn, you right.
when I was there. So it felt proud, to be one of the black public coaches to take a team down the state. Y'all talk about Shaker and Cleveland Heights, and I played for Cap and played at Cleveland Heights. That was the one thing we used to always brag about. Us 3 public schools went down and played in the state championship.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt good. Like I said, Bedford was, y'all really don't know how prejudiced Bedford was as far as coaching, as far as me getting head coach. You think about it, man. a lot of these young white cats get these jobs at 24, 25. I didn't get the head basketball job till I was 39 years old. And then stuff like, you know, we're at a party and, you know, teachers and principals getting drunk, and they, yeah, I heard, yeah, when we brought you back, you know, we interviewed you 5 times and only interviewed somebody else 3 times. We wanted to make sure you was the right one. You know, I'm sitting there like,
Really?
I just sit on that one and y'all sitting there. I'm still kind of pissed that I wasn't given the opportunity to be the head football coach. I had a dream of winning the state championship in football, basketball, and track. And, you know, I felt bad that I didn't get that opportunity. And now when I look back at the coaches they hired instead of me, it was a big mistake. So, you know, that felt good personally because, like I said, Beverett wasn't winning, you know, and I was. So, and a lot of teachers people didn't like that because like Ricky said, I let them know. I let them know.
Ooh, I got a couple questions hearing that. So, one, what made you loyal to Bedford? There's plenty of other coaches opportunities across the city. What made you loyal to Bedford?
All right. After you've been at a school for so many years, then if you leave and go some other place, your years get cut. All right. For example, I taught 2 years at Shaw. Shaw was my first 2 years. You know, I was there when Daryl Talley was there. All right. That was the first person that single pro when we coached him. So you do that. Then I went to Bedford for 5 years and got riffed. All right. Then I went to Heights for 5 years. All right. At the end of winning the state championship in track at Heights, they offered me the basketball job at Bedford. So, all right. So when I came back to Bedford, I had like 12, 13 years. They cut me back to 10. So I lost money there. So, all right. So then all of a sudden, once you've been in a place so long, to leave, yeah, you can leave and go coach some other place. I had a wife. I had 3 kids. Yeah. You know, so I had to think about the money and the job. So, you know, yeah, I put my feet down with Bedford, and plus, I love the kids. So it wasn't about me, you know, rolling someplace to try to win, because I could have easily, after they hired me at Bedford for basketball and I won the state championship in Heights, I could have went back to Heights and still coached that team that won the state championship the next 2 or 3 years, because they were all 9th and 10th graders. But I decided, that Cat said, hey man, I thought you was going to come to Bedford and help us do well. And that made me feel wanted. So I I'm going to stay at Bedford. So, yeah.
Now, I'm going to take it all the way back real quick to the beginning. How did you even get into coaching? What was your passion? What drew you to coaching?
All right. As I always tell my wife, it's 10th grade at Heights. All right. First of all, it was only about 10 or 15 blacks at Heights back then in 1969, 1970. They called all the fellas down to the auditorium, had this cat talk about, you got to make life choices. You got to plan on what you got. You got to find something you love, and you got to do it. So I sat back, and I'm like, man, Capoletti and man, they just coming here doing this and coaching stuff, making some money, and having a good time. See, that seems like some shit I want to do. All right, so I played all 3 sports at high school. I did football, basketball, and track at Heights. And then when I graduated, I knew I was 5'7", 5'8", 145. I wasn't going, but I was, still all special mention, all state. I still was all city, all the basketball, stuff like that. So I decided to go to Baldwin Wallace because I wanted to be a teacher, coach, and they had a lot of good things there. And plus, not Jimmy Trussell, but Trussell, his father, I really believed in and trusted him. So, I went there, played 3 sports there, and, like I said, to me, it was just natural to do that. And when I got out of college, I coached basketball in college, football at Shaw, and I didn't coach track till I came to Bedford. But yeah.
Okay. 2 more questions, and it's back to y'all, fellas. All right. So, how long have you been coaching?
Since 1975.
Okay, so you seen many generations.
Since '75.
What's the biggest change you've seen over the course of your time coaching?
Probably that now people are paying individual coaches and weightlifters and things like that to pay, whereas before it was just really getting together, providing a place for them to play, and we just played.
Okay, what about the athletes themselves?
You know what? I tell you what, everybody always says that, man. I don't see no difference. You know, I think I love them. I love them. I love the players I'm coaching now. As long as they give me respect and as long as they believe, and they do, they still do, man. So, you know, I don't see any different. Now, you didn't ask me about school, you know, and I'm not talking about school. I'm talking strictly athletics and sports. I found the people at Bedford that it has always respected me, always did well. And, you know, I don't see any difference between 1975 to now.
Okay, so you brought it. Let's talk about it. Tell me about the school. So what's the difference in the school?
I don't know because I haven't been in it. In all honesty,
Oh, okay.
I haven't been in there in 15 years, so I don't know.
All right, so what's the personalities as far as the personalities? Is the kids' approach still the same from 1975 to now?
You know what? I think that you're always throughout your course, you're going to find different type of personalities. Period. A person like Chris Chambers never said a boo. You know, Ricky was very talkative, and I mean Ricky wasn't well, yeah, you know, I'm running first. I want to run, you know, and he spoke up, and we have athletes now that do the same thing. You know, some work out, do very well, and you know, so like I said, I really don't see a difference. If I get a hungry athlete that want to get good, he's hungry back then, he's hungry now too.
Okay, last one. I said it was two, but
Let it ride.
my last one. All right, so been coaching all these years. What's your spoils? What do you get from coaching?
I get it from helping kids. I really like I said, they listen. When he comes back and tells stories about, you know, I was talking to Coach Hurd about this, and you know, something was happening, and what he said triggered me to think about what I was doing. You know, I just like helping. I think that was my job, that was my life, you know, to help other people and the coach. So that's what I do.
Go ahead.
All right, this is for real, the last
No,
one.
dude, this is your show. The hell?
When it's all said and done, what would you say if somebody looks back on your time as coaching, what would they say the legacy of Coach Hurd is?
Hey, that's a good one. Can't wait for this answer.
That he was fair, honest, he was straight up with you. You know, even if he didn't agree with you or you didn't agree with him, he said what he believed in, and you know, he's always believed in you. And matter of fact, I think I believed more in my athletes than they actually believed in themselves. And I really want to try to push to put, you know, my thing is put you out in that world. Okay, I don't want to, let me make sure I say this right. There are some coaches that are always looking for their players to come back, help them out, give them some money, do this. I'm not into that. I want my players, I try to teach them in practice how to prepare themselves for the world, and I want them to go out to the world and then spread stuff out to other people.
Okay.
So,
Let me add a little seasoning on that, because I'm going to tell you something. Now, this going to add to the legacy question, because I've been working with these two gentlemen a lot. And some came up with Swamp Kings and Urban Meyer. That was a style.
Just thinking about that. Yeah.
But when I started to ask them and looking at them as gentlemen, I didn't see that Urban Meyer. I see more you. So part of that legacy I see is the inspiration that you've put in just these two, and no telling how many other people. because
1,174.
that's what I see just sitting here for a few minutes because I feel inspired to do something. Athlete right now, but I just want to do something. So I could definitely see the inspiration in which you've planted, the seeds that you've planted in them, and how they've taken that to their own coaching style.
That's
Not Urban Meyer.
right. and and on top of that, not only coaching, like right now, I find a lot of the coaches, they want to talk about certain things happen. Well, you got to learn to be on time on this team and this and that. Whereas me being 70, I related to, you're going to be a father. You're going to be a man out there. You're going to have kids. You got to show up to work every day. You're not going to feel good. You got to get out there, get that food for your family. So I kind of related to life, more as just coaching and winning and stuff like that.
And that's something they took beyond just football, basketball, track, whatever.
Right.
They took that to
Right.
life. Like,
So who do you credit that to? Who put that and instilled that into you?
My mother, father,
Okay.
and my brothers.
Okay. All right. Look. All right.
Nah, you good.
man, you understand,
No,
man?
so I'm gonna go back to two things. The one where you asked why didn't he go to any other school and coach somewhere else, what made him loyal to Bedford. I learned that from him, from hearing him tell that story. That's why I've been at Bedford so long, because I'm like, why would I go to another district? And I've been to this district for a while. I don't want to start my clock over, because like he said, that's gonna mess up your pay. They might take a couple of years away from you, so you might as well ride it out and see what you're gonna get from it. But just being honest, it's a lot of promises made at Bedford that sometimes don't come true. So you're trying to wait it out. I'm just talking about right now. I don't know about when he was doing it or whatever. He probably went through the same thing. Like, yeah, we're going to do this with you, and we got big plans for this and everything. You hear that, and then you're like, okay, so maybe I will stay another year just in case that does happen, and so I don't have to start my clock over. But then the second thing, he brought that, like when he said a lot of athletes, he put a lot of confidence in them that they didn't have in themselves. Remember that My Journey Pod when I was telling you all about my confidence issues back in the day? And I used to hear him say stuff to me, and it took a while to register, like, dude, you really think that about me? Like, for real? Like, you really think I'm that good? So I didn't think I was that good, but it took a lot of him telling me that for me to really grasp it and be like, damn, I guess I really am that good, because he trusted me in what I'm doing, and he's rewarding me when I'm doing these things that he's telling me to do that I never thought that I would be able to do. So I'm one that can speak to that. He gave me all the confidence in the world from certain things, not even just on the court, just with life, when he was just saying, you got a wife and kids, you got to get up and work and do it if you don't feel good and everything. Still think about that every day. Because you know how many people just lay in the bed when their alarm go off and contemplate, like, man, should I call off today? I don't even feel like it. You know what? I'm going to call off. I always hear that voice, like, you got to get up. You got to feed your family. So it's not a second guess. Just get up and do it.
Coach Hart made me, like, put perspective about myself. Like,
Yeah.
I remember having conversations with him, like, during football season. Like, I remember he would pull me and Lee to the side and be like, look, if y'all don't perform, we don't win. Like, I'm just going to be flat out with you. Like, y'all got to perform. So it was like, I had to, like, on the field, it was like, it wasn't, I couldn't wait for nobody else to make the play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, go do what you do.
Do what you do.
Yeah, I always say that, do what you do. Like,
He still say that today. Matter of
Right.
fact, he just said that last night at the game to JJ when JJ was having a little bad first half or whatever. In the locker room, he said, do what you do. He still say
man.
that to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? And these two cats are giving me a lot of accolades, but man, they both had strong parents. His moms was strong. His mom and father was strong. They backed him up to the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and like I said, my brother, he's always saying, man, we saw our father go to work every day in a suit and tie. He's a insurance man. You know, we had to shine. We 5 boys. We had to shine his shoes, but we saw him go to work every day. So that instilled into us, And once again, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to instill it to you. He's supposed to instill it to you. He's supposed to tell somebody else. He's supposed to tell somebody else. He's supposed to bring his kids back to Bedford, but he didn't. He stayed down in Texas. And that's another thing, too, is that you'd be surprised that so many, all right, this is going to be my last year. Oh, damn, he got a little brother. That dude look pretty good, man.
One more year.
You ain't gonna stay for me? Damn, man, let me stay another couple. Hey, dear, can I stay a couple? Yeah, you ain't got no money. So yeah, we need that. Yeah, we need that's our vacation money. So
And yes, we did have strong parents.
right.
I agree. But if I'm keeping 100% G, my dad worked every other day. I went to school every day. So who did I see every day? So who did my parents have to know that, okay, my son goes to school every day, but the person there really cares about him. Like that, and that's what I got a lot from Coach Hurt. It was never about what I could do for him. Like even with the speech about you coming to Bedford, it was like, you want to be a part of this, don't you? Well, you need to bring your ass on to Bedford then.
I didn't say ass.
He never cursed at the
You already know. You know the truth.
He never cursed at the kids. He never cursed at the kids.
You know the truth.
Total mind-blowing experience. But, yo, another mind-blowing experience, just real quick. I thought Ricky was shorter. I thought you was the same height, bro. You all tall, what?
6 feet, baby.
6 feet. Hey,
Even Steven.
6 feet.
I was like, yeah, Rick 5'8".
That I used to use when I would coach. I'll go in like coaching recruiting. I walk in schools and I go talk to the kids. And the first thing I would do is like, hey, how you doing? And I stand up.
Right.
I was like, you told me you was 6 feet. I'm looking down at you. Or, okay, yeah, you is legit 6 feet. You know, like, I always use myself as a bar. Like, did you really tell me you the right height? You know?
Yeah, that's always the funny thing. We got these two kids that are 5'6".
Oh man.
6 foot.
Yeah.
6 foot. Right?
All right.
Or coming out of high school, I was like 155, but then I look at the Wake Forest media guy, I'm 6 foot 175. So I put on 20 pounds miraculously
You know
without
what I'm
lifting a
saying?
weight.
That's that freshman 15.
Yeah, well, everybody wasn't blessed like Evan. It was
Oh,
like,
come on, brother.
You're going to be big for the rest of your life.
But you say at 9 years old, he was like,
Yeah, he was like that, man.
Always, man. Yo, so I remember every time Herb would be like, Rick, you got to get Evan to come on, play football. Rick, it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
It's on
So
you.
that go back to that story.
Yeah, it's on you.
So it was her telling Rick to tell me.
right,
So I ain't had no choice but to listen.
right.
So he was
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
you know you need him out there. We know you need him out there. It's on you. If he ain't out there, it's on him and Ken. If he ain't out there, it's on you.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dan Chambers.
Oh yeah, no
Dan
doubt.
Chambers was Chris's uncle, and like I said, we first met. He was bringing Chris to basketball, and he's up in the stand. I like, wait a minute, dude, you're not gonna be up in the stands criticizing me. You coming down on the bench right side me. Heard, I don't play. I'm serious now. I said, brother, we can roll together. And for 4, 5, 6 years, man, he was my right hand man.
Evan,
All right.
what the fuck?
Right. He was the perfect thing. I had perfect people to help out, football, basketball, and everything. So yeah, I felt real happy with the career and the way people. And you'd be surprised all the the people I had.
Now, yes, you did. But we gonna keep it 100. We talked about it over there, and I'm gonna say it over here. My 4 blocks of being at Bedford, Coach Everett Hurd was my track coach.
Nobody else.
Nobody else. Was
Nobody.
Boys and girls sprinters was my track coach
To this day.
to this day.
What's the dude's name? Big boxer, Alabama. That's your boy. Bronze bomber. What's his name?
Oh, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. To this day.
Deontay.
To this day.
It was, and they said it was a culture set. Like we had to kind of police each other. I remember we get to track meets. They was gonna go sit up in the top corner of every stadium, they would hand us the event sheet, and I'd be like, we gonna warm up. Let's go. And we'd be out there with nothing Bedford on. They'd be looking for us, but nothing Bedford. And it was, but I think that helped me become the coach I was. Like, I got groomed at a young age, pause, to go and be a good
Appreciate
coach.
the pause.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of helped me with. He used to tell me, like, you're gonna be a good coach. You're gonna be a great coach one day.
And still, every track meet we go to, every invitational we go to, all the coaches, hey, we gonna wait to see what Herb said. We gonna let Herb pick the seat. And then next thing you know, that loud voice. All right, let's go. Yeah, time to roll. That's
So,
all you hear.
When we ran 4x1, we were counting out steps. We get down in the stance. How you think I coached my team? Same way. What do you think I said?
See, I knew it. That's what I'm saying. I see the inspiration.
Everything was the same. And I had district championships, coaching track in high school, all of that. And everything was what I learned there.
And I learned from Mr. Mann at Cleveland Heights. Dick Mann.
Okay. See, and it fast forwards all the way to today. Every day I tell my wife, like, can't wait to go to practice, see what her gonna say tomorrow. Because it's a different way. Like, when you a kid and you getting coached by him, you like, man, he don't never stop talking. No matter what we do, he has a story for it. We throw a turnover, immediate. Boom, story. Man, I remember back in 1975, I played with a dude just like that. He turned the ball over like that. Then if we didn't do nothing quick enough, the kids told me the other day, no, that was you when we were setting up. Cameraman Mel, he said, quicker than the fart in the windstorm. That's his favorite thing. He said, man, you ain't quick enough. You got to be quick. You got to be quicker than the fart in the windstorm. That used to be his favorite thing. But now today, I sit there at practice and look at the kids' body language and what they do when he start talking, because it's the same thing. No matter what happens, he gonna start talking. We just did transition drill the other day in practice. Gregory had just said, man, I shouldn't have threw that turnover. Herb about to say something. As soon as he got done saying that, Herb was like, come on, Gregory. The hell? You just gonna throw it away like that? So they know already. So
I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah,
We practice it, we practice it, but I mean, one day we'll get it together. Break it down.
break it down. Get a break.
One day, I don't know.
One heart, one beat.
Always want to leave being positive. Like I said, I hate coaches that, when you're winning, hey man, I'm your best buddy, you're my best buddy. But like I said, I always talk about the song. She knows about what's the group? Can You Stand the Rain?
New
New
edition.
Edition.
Yeah.
And see that song, anybody can be with somebody when they winning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when, damn man, we done lost this. I done messed up. That's when you need the person. That's when you need the person to lift you up and help you out and to know that he's going to be with you. So, like I said, Bedford's been pretty true. They've been pretty true. When you find cats that really work together and be together, I think right now there's four or five people right now on the track team that could do that. Williams, Sean Williams, baby Sean's. Oh man, he got kids.
His son.
He got kids.
Yeah.
He got kids.
That's what he's
Kids,
talking about.
kids.
That's what he's talking about.
He got kids.
The
Baby
dog.
Sean got kids.
Baby Sean got
He's the ninth
a lot of
man.
baby Sean.
Child is this? Oh yeah, he's gonna be all right.
Not Papa Sean,
Right.
Baby Sean. Yeah.
First question I asked, all right, who's Ferris played? Anybody Ferris played or went to Bedford?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's your father? Oh, okay, let me check you out a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Tradition continues.
tradition.
I think my son lead a little Bedford baptism to him.
Little toughness. Little toughness.
Little bit, yeah.
Hey, well, we got all
But-
these Section
But
8
but
babies.
as I always tell them, yeah, we Bedford. Don't be fucking with them Heights boys.
Definitely.
So, coaching style. You said 1975 to now. Like back then, you could get on kids hard. Nowadays, it's shift to more of a player's coach, and like you said, being more their friends
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
How have you adapted from
Yeah,
to this new day?
Yeah, you know, you're going to have to adapt because, number one, the rules are different. I mean, I can sit here and tell you, you know, we've had track girls spend the night over our house, you know, back in the 80s. That shit never happened now. You know, you just, certain things now with the,
That part.
you know, that part you can't do, certain things you can't say, you know, and one thing about it with Bedford, they've been sued before. So a lot of times as you're coaching, you always got to go through, all right, is this the right thing to do? Am I going to get in trouble? Is the school going to get sued? Okay, then let's go to the next step. So, yeah, things have changed. You just can't say whatever is you used to be able to cut the kid out, this and that, and parent will come in, cut the kid out, you know, and stuff like that. Now, and you're in court, so you have to watch that. But you know, once again, if they respect you and if you do it in the right way, I think what really happened one time is that when I resigned from coaching, I retired from teaching, and I wanted my JV coach to get the job, so I retired from basketball. My buddy Mike Carter asked me to help coach at Foots Miss Rocky, all right, the Jewish school.
I was about to say, man, it sounds like you just said a Chinese thing right
Foots
there,
Miss
boy.
Rockies, all Jewish school.
Waiting on some sushi.
And what happened is, you know, I go over there and you couldn't curse or anything. I said, wait a minute, if I could be over here and not curse with these white cats, I want to come over here with the black cats and curse. I can deal with them just, you know, the way I deal with them and this and that. So I started changing just a little bit as far as dealing with them as men, you know, and not so much as telling and, you know, trying to get them to reason. All right, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand now, coach. You know, stuff like that. So
But even in the, like, he never cursed us out.
I tried not to. Once again, if I curse,
he
she
never did.
won't talk to me for 2 weeks.
Which is it? Which is it? I'm here. Wait.
And you
close
seeing
your
her
ears for a
faces,
second
right?
so we can get the real answer.
You seeing her faces.
And you know why I say that is because, like I said, I adopted that with my coaching style and who was I around all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then even with how he dealt with me was different with how he might have dealt with Camille or how he might have dealt with Evan or how it was always different. Like I remember he would come to me and say, "Yo, go talk to so and so," because you know he was gonna shut down if I said something. But if you say something to him, so he was very, very conscious of.
Yeah, sound like y'all got a lot of Miyagi in the style. Talking to the kids, you know.
Jedi mind.
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, I mean, it's all
My
about
boy
how
gotta have
to,
it.
you got to know how to coach an individual kid his way.
Yeah.
You know, I always say, if they do not learn the way you teach, you must teach the way they learn.
Okay.
Wipe
Gotcha.
on, wipe off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Gotta test what 1975. So it's a lot of players, a lot of athletes you've seen over the course of these years. I've got to know
I know where you're going.
greatest athlete that you've seen, that you coach personally, and that you've seen with your own two eyes.
All right, I mean, first of all, I seen LeBron James up you know, up tight when we went
Right.
to the state championship.
All right, that's
And-
fair.
all right,
That's
I am gonna get that, but when Camille made best of the best, LeBron was in the 9th grade,
Yeah.
and I always have that picture because he's real skinny, and he didn't get real big till his 10th grade year, you know, and so on. But when I first got out of college and started teaching at Shaw, I took everybody, all the little hard cats, up into the gym, and I woke them up one-on-one in basketball. So that got me my little respect from them there. So about halfway through, one of the cats like, man, there's this one person. If he came here, Mr. Hurd, you wouldn't have beat. Man, who the fuck you talking about? Clark Kellogg. All right, man, who's this Clark Kellogg? All right, and He's the closest thing to LeBron. All right, he's the closest thing to LeBron. And I got it. Chris.
Putting you on the spot.
I'm
Chris.
gonna say that.
I already,
I say
I already
Chris.
knew what he was
Chris,
gonna
Chris
say.
is probably the best athlete.
I'm gonna say
Because
Chris.
He's the best athlete. He's probably the best athlete.
ain't no probably for me.
Right.
I used to see it in
Right.
practice, boy.
I seen this
Right.
man catch a slant route. Like the ball was here on his feet. He caught it in the front of the ball like this with one hand.
The tip.
The tip.
Pause. Just the
Puffed it,
tip.
got hit, rolled off of him, and went 90. Like the stuff he would do on the basketball court, like he used to be dribble, two hand, two dunk, just boom, off just dude, man.
So you remember that league that used to be on? Used to be some weird league. They just used to play on trampoline, slam ball. I think it was
yeah.
called. Looked like he was on.
He looked like that when
Like
he get
slam ball every practice, every game. He had at least 2 or 3 moments where he was like, man, did he just jump
Yeah.
off a trampoline or something?
So
Like,
that was we
how
talked
the
basketball,
hell?
football, and track.
no, run and start, but still, a lot of
matter,
people
man.
Didn't
think
matter. He just do some things.
because if you just see him, his arms are so long, you would swear he like 6'3", 6'4".
Ground standing straight up.
Yeah, you would think he was 6'3", 6'4", but in real life he probably 5'11",
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah, he was
Chris
shorter than me.
Chambers,
He wasn't.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm 6 feet. Chris
That's
was
what I'm
5'10",
saying.
Yeah, he
5'11".
wasn't tall.
You probably saw his arms
arms.
and swore he was
Right.
our height.
Right.
Chris ain't.
Right.
If Chris is 6 foot, he had a wedding because he got dress shoes on with a heel.
And then
That's
in
the only
track-
way.
And in track, his senior year, it
O
was,
State.
It was Chris, Justin Russell, Ron Raven, and me on the 4x14. 3 sophomores and a senior. All we said was, run a 50.
And we
You
gonna
can run
win.
a 50, we win it.
We winning.
We at the regional track meet. We running the 4x4 to go downstate. Hooter brings the baton in third. We are in third place. Heights is in front of us, and another two's in front of us. And it's like, but Chris can see the dude. The only dude is like halfway through the first turn. They pass the baton. I raised my arms in the air like this. I said, "Yes, we won." The kid from Heights looked at me like, "What you talking about, man? You're on the third place." I was like, "Yo, watch this stuff."
Just wait.
Chris walked them. Came in first place. I just looked at him like, told you. All we had to do was run a 50.
Yeah.
We was going to come in first place.
I was they said, man, look, keep that shit closed.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Keep that shit closed. Chris got it. All right.
Yeah.
You better bring that shit around. Man. Got that? We're gonna keep it closed. You bring it around. All right. All right, man. We got it. All right.
I remember the last state championship meet inside of the Horseshoe when he ran the open 400.
47 flat.
47 flat.
And that's kind of
47 flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
47 flat.
And like it was effortless because his strides and his running form, to your 2 eyes, it looked like he was just going through the motions jogging. But that son of a bitch was moving so fast. It just looked so comfortable and like nobody else could catch him or nobody else could slow him down. It was like some
Now,
movie stuff.
Now the story how he came to Bedford was that Glenville was playing Cleveland Heights in basketball when he was a freshman, and every time he kind of messed up, Jimmy Johnson would take him out, and him and Dan, because Dan, Chambers was the assistant coach, they would start arguing. Heights, Glenville would be winning. They would take Chris out. Heights would catch him. He'll put Chris back in. They go back up. So eventually he took him out. They lost the game. Dan got mad and said, "I'm taking Chris out of here." All right. Called Brush up. Brush, we ain't never heard of Chris Chambers, so they wouldn't sit down with him. Called Ignatius up.
Yes.
He wanted them to take Chris and his cousin. They wouldn't take his cousin. So he called Bedford up. So I immediately went to them. I went to actually Sean Williams, the football coach, and, "Hey, man, y'all heard this cat named Chris Chambers? Mr. Hurd, he's a 9th grader, runs a 49.5. He runs a this and that. He's over here. He's Mr. Football. He's Mr. Basketball. Y'all need to get him over here if you can." So I went to the white coach. "Hey, man, this dude's the funk. So we need to get him over here." So they came, sat down. So the cat like, "Hurd, I don't need to talk to you. We need to talk to the football coach. We know all about you, basketball, track." I said, "Come on, man, let's go look at the school." So yeah, he was cool and this and that, and they decided to bring him here, and the rest was history.
I remember the
Absolutely.
first time he came to practice, it was like, yo, this dude could go. Like,
True.
it was like, yeah, he legit. He legit.
Okay. Now, as a coach, who was the toughest player that you had the game plan against?
In what sport?
It don't matter.
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you. Okay, you want to know? Okay, you want to know? No. One
You
year
know what that mean?
at Cleveland Heights, I'm the defensive coordinator. Okay, we had to go play Euclid. Euclid had Robert Smith. All right, now he only got 99 yards. All right, but we shut him down. And they beat us in overtime.
Shut him down.
Next week, we played St. Joe. Who's on St. Joe? Desmond Howard.
Oh, that's right.
Desmond Howard, and what was the quarterback's name? Right, Gerback.
Yeah.
So I got a plan for them. And then the next week we play St. Ignatius with Pickens. All right, Pickens, the quarterback. George Pickens, he was the quarterback.
Okay.
He was and they. So I'm sitting there, and they cracked on me about, damn, Herb, you gave Robert Smith got 100 yards, and then the next week we go to Scott Ignatius, he has 300 and some yards, So it was that week right there. I mean that year.
That is a goal.
Hey.
And now to see them on TV,
Yeah.
and talking and all like that, like damn, we playing for Desmond Howard, and for him and Robert Smith.
Robert
That's
Smith
a hell of a
lives in
stretch.
Arlington.
Okay,
I run into him all the time
he's
at the grocery store.
great man, good man,
I run
good
into him all
man.
the time at the grocery store.
Hey, my story ain't changing. Desmond's a traitor. He's not my friend. Cause he went up there past the state lines. Don't nobody care about that boy. Yeah. Hell, he can go to hell. All I care. It's serious like that. I hope Desmond
And
here.
Melvin Levitt. Melvin Levitt was a tough one
We go this story
in
here.
basketball.
The human helicopter.
So we getting ready for. We kind of knew who he was. We couldn't talk about him. So they come to the gym. I was playing JV, so it was like I couldn't wait to get in the stands to watch the game.
I was in 8th grade. I know what story you about to tell. I was in the same.
The gym is packed. I mean,
Yes.
wall to wall people, standing room only. They tip off. They tip the ball off. They get Euclid gets it on the tip. Pass it to Levitt. There's Bedford spelt on our floor. I think he shot it from like the D, which is maybe 4 feet behind the 3-point line. Squawk it. So I don't know if we go down. We probably score. He brings the ball back down the floor. He yells out, F. Whoop, hit it again. And we like, what? So then another play, I think it's the same half. They get, he goes baseline, takes off, and leans like this, and hits his hand on the side of the backboard. And so he jams his finger. But it was Michael Jordan kissed the rim, that's how high he was.
He jumped over Shante.
Yeah.
That first,
that-
we had played them at Euclid, and I had this cat named Larry Goodson. He came from John Adams. He was 6'1".
Yeah.
They the toughest dude, man. He's about 6'1", about 145, man. But he was tough. And first time we played Mel, I said, man, look, you just get in his face. Don't let him do it. Melvin wasn't ready. And we beat him. I think, 103 to 106. All right. He came to our gym. He walked into the gym. Coach, I'm kicking y'all's ass today. I'm ready to play. And man, and I'm like, I'm sitting there like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
Damn, man, he just went off. And everybody Doc like, man, we shouldn't have made him mad. And he went off.
It was 4 quarters. So they in the game, I would say the game's probably over by that time. He gets the ball. He throws it ahead to the dude. Dude's in the corner. He's running down the court. He goes like this. He threw him a oop from the corner. I'll never forget. LaShante is in front of him.
Shante was a cat that could dunk and jump for our team.
Yeah.
Sean Thompson was on his back. He caught that mug 2 hands. Boom! Everybody in the
Right.
Everybody walked in, stopped the game, get everybody off the floor. Like it was just like
That's an and one shit.
Vince Carter, like
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, I ain't never seen. And so then the next week, his uncle lived across the street from me. And I remember, Nigel Levitt was his cousin.
Oh yeah.
And I remember telling my aunt, I think my dad told her or something. He was like, "Man, we need to can he come live? We need to get him on." But you can imagine him in Doc Clinic. Shoot.
Right.
Oh, that's cheat code
Yeah.
all day.
So tell me about Doc. Like, tell me when you saw him. When
But you know what? I tell you what, Doc. First of all, Doc's mother, my wife, was her gym leader. You know, when she went to Glenville, and and her impression was cool. So when Doc was in the 9th grade, coming up to the I was in the middle school coming up. I went over her house and I said, "Hey, how you doing, Miss Taylor? I know you know my wife and everything, and blah blah blah." So I said, "Well, what is Doc going to do?" Mm-hmm. She like, "Look, Doc wants to be with his friends. Mm-hmm. Doc is a Bedford person. He wants to go to Bedford, and he wants to make Bedford good." So I said, "I ain't got to worry about all these others." I said, Mr. Hurd, you got my word. Now, Doc wasn't the easiest person. I mean, some of the best people I had, Camille, him, they wasn't the easiest person to coach in practice. Yeah. Because once again, everything came so easy to Doc that he didn't have to really put out 110% till he went to college. And I asked him what was the difference, and he said you just get embarrassed in college if you didn't go. Mm-hmm. But Doc personally have won about 5, 6. Just get the ball down. Its score is tied. It's a minute to go. Doc, I'm getting ready to call a timeout. I got this. Dribble down, 5 seconds. Yeah. And he won about 4 or 5 games like that. So he put us on the map.
Maple, I think he had like 50 and Chris had 30. Like it was.
I remember that buzzer beater Doc had at Maple.
He had Maple at Mayfield. He had at Bedford. That's where me and my JV coach fell out when Bistrus.
Yeah.
When it was
I remember
5 seconds to go. Yeah, hey man, they're gonna be looking at Doc. Why don't we use him as a decoy? I looked at it, like what? I go with the person that brought me to the dance. Got the ball to him, got an half court, started, won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Doc remind me of Joe Johnson. Like that type of game, just
big and
quiet,
smooth.
Big, wide,
Paul.
And everything was cool. He went to DePaul.
Yeah.
He averaged 13, 14 points his freshman year. Everything was good. Then they fired Joey Myers, got a new coach. Him and Doc didn't get along. They made him a wing player and didn't like it there. Came to Cleveland State, and stuff like that. But
that Cleveland State team, didn't they have? It was like him, Theo,
Harris, Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the Cleveland Heights, little.
They had Sonny for a little bit, but then that's when Sonny transferred from Cleveland State, came down with me at OU.
Okay. Yeah, Sonny was there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing these coaching. I'm hearing this good coaching talk right now, but so I got a couple questions. So first off, for Ricky, is that a real authentic Brahma bull hat?
This come on, baby. This Texas Longhorn.
Is it Texas or the Brahma bull?
No,
I'm a wrestling fan.
Come on, man.
It ain't the Brahma bull?
No, it's
just
Texas.
Okay. I had to just check. But since I got these basketball coaches, so I got to bring it to some basketball. You know me, E. You know I'm NBA.
And I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
Ain't
So
this a bitch?
JV Bickerstaff.
Get him out.
Hottest team in basketball right now, Cavaliers. I got a true coach right now. My man reminds me of Doc Rivers in his prime. So what do you think about JB and the Cavs right now?
talking about, you want Ricky to answer first?
No,
or me?
I'm asking
Yeah,
Coach
it's me.
Hurd.
Well, you know, like I like to give people their respect, and I think that I think he's trying to understand everybody, trying to get everybody to work together. I like JB Bickerstaff. You know, I think that he's going to have to prove himself in the tournament. You know, when
Yeah.
they go to the tournaments and everything, people have doubts about that. But the NBA is a long season, and to keep everybody happy and everybody together and to keep things going smooth, you know, it takes a hard-nosed type person and a person that can understand. And he seemed to be very understandable. He seems to get in their grill when they need to, and they seem to respect him. So I don't have any problems with the bruh. I think he's doing all
a
right.
Good job, right? So what would you say to his haters? Because there's a lot of them.
And one
They
sitting right
near,
next to
too.
him,
Well, I would say
near and far,
who would they get in place of?
Exactly.
and that's the only
That's
problem.
The,
Ooh.
yeah, the
That's
one-
the only
who you
problem.
gonna get?
Who you gonna
Who you
get?
gonna-
Hell, I'll go down that some bitch.
Hey, I think they're going in the right direction. So I mean, I
Yeah.
can't be mad at that.
But I constantly remind him what happened last year.
That's last year, man. We filled them hoes. We filled them.
That's what you think.
Hey, man, say it.
Playoffs is totally different from January, February, March, April basketball. Totally different.
Ain't no Lamar Jackson up in here. Look, say his name. Sam
Unbelievable.
Merrill. Say his same.
I ain't saying it.
Say Max Strus. Say Sam
Mark
Merrill.
Price Jr.
You know what I mean? Look,
Mark Price Jr.
feeling
I'll give him
good.
that credit. That's a lot of credit.
that's a lot of
Boy,
credit.
can shoot, man.
Yeah, he dead eye.
Right.
But it ain't the playoffs.
Hey.
The playoffs, he ain't gonna be
good.
able to shit. His asshole gonna be about this big,
He gonna
puckering
be
and
good.
everything.
He
Pause.
gonna be
They
good.
need to play my man. Kanang? What's his name?
Niang, George
Niang.
Niang. We're on the
Man.
food spots.
Hey.
That's my
dude.
man
Yeah,
right there,
you,
yo.
you find him in the
That's
spot.
Boris Diaw right there in the rash, man.
Right.
He gets
So-
it done.
So you with us? You ain't with the Mavericks. You with us?
Oh,
You
yeah.
With the
Hey.
Cavs.
Hey, anytime Cleveland play, I'm with Cleveland.
Okay, you with Cleveland.
Anytime.
What about when we don't play? What about
Oh
when
no,
the
they
Mavs
still,
play?
they still my number one. And I'm rooting
Okay.
for the Mavs. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
You
I
love
live there.
JB?
Yeah, right.
Luka.
Yeah,
Luka.
you
But
can't
I
get
don't-
mad
I
at
don't-
Luka and
I
Kyrie.
don't think that's a good
Yeah.
combination to win the
No,
championship.
I don't think so.
No,
either.
no championship
Kyrie
coming
need the
out of
ball,
that.
but
Right.
Kyrie, that's a good point because is Kyrie a number one or number two? I say number two for life.
He's definitely number
Kyrie
two.
Definitely a Robin.
100%
He a Robin.
number
He
two.
played his
But he want
best.
to be a Batman.
His
you know
best
what
ball is played as a number two,
Yeah.
and I think he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know that?
Now
he
we do.
does.
He
Now we
still
do.
know that?
Yeah, now we do.
In
It
this
took him
stage?
a while.
Yeah.
When he apologized to Bron, that's when it really hit home.
okay.
Like, yeah, you know what?
Damn.
You are better than me. And I
Damn.
should have acted like it. I should have governed myself accordingly
That take
in
a
them
lot,
Cleveland
though.
streets. Yeah, it do.
Have y'all ever had times y'all had to admit y'all was Robins instead of Batman?
I just did earlier. I said I knew I wasn't no leading scorer. I knew I didn't get all the headlines, but I still had a job to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to admit that and you want to consider that and me admitting I'm not no Batman, in my heart I'm a Batman.
Yeah.
I could have led the team, but that just wasn't my role.
I got you.
For me in
Oh,
basketball,
For you
on
in
the,
basketball?
I knew my role was, I'm like the on court coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Was
her
it because
talking
he was
to me.
5'9"?
Hmm?
Was it because he was 5'9"?
He saw it because he's small.
Well, no, I mean 'cause we had Camille, we had Dominique. You know, like them cats could fill up the cup, man, and especially Dominique, like
At a high
that
level.
so the dude that go talk to that it was neat. Coach would send me to go talk to Dominique.
You know,
I
Nick.
see.
Yeah.
to keep his head because Nick would.
And Nick is so much calmer now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, I was the man. I was the man. I
Throw
was the
that
man
in there.
I was the man at ice. Man at ice. I was the man at Baldwin Wallace. That's how I pulled that in.
Roy Jones, y'all must have forgot.
Let me ask you, what's the personality type that's easier to coach? Is it the rah-rah, what's the outward going, what's the word I'm looking for?
The bold guy.
The
versus-
extrovert,
Yeah.
the extrovert that
versus
you,
the introvert.
yeah, versus.
Yeah, I don't know,
more-
because we right now we got a real tough little point guard. He's a tough dude, In football, he a tough dude. In basketball, he's somebody I known in 7th grade. Is he the greatest football player? No, he's the greatest basketball player. But he tough. If I like right now, if I had to walk out to my car and I knew some people out there, I want him with me. All right, but he's knucklehead too at times. You know, he won't listen sometimes. He thinks he knows everything. So, you know, and then there's some cats that quiet. Damn, man, you ain't showing no emotion, man. Come on, you know. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Now let's wrap on this one, fellas. This has been a great conversation. All right, so got to get out of here on this. So we got the Super Bowl on Sunday. So we got to talk about Coach B. Coach E gave me a call this week. He said, "Hey, Zen, you know." He said, "Hey." He was like, "I called the Super Bowl before the season started."
I did.
He was telling me, he was like, that Morpheus title, he said, don't belong to you no more.
At all.
He
got
said
one
it did.
now. Don't get carried away. He got a big one, but he got pause. He got one.
Definitely pause that.
He got a great guess. We'll praise that. But it's one. Morpheus still is up in the count.
Okay. So I want to get y'all thoughts about it. This matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Are you excited about it? What you looking forward to? And of course, I need to get y'all predictions.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go round about you first, Rick.
I hate to say it. I mean, you at this point you can't bet against Mahomes. I mean, he is who he is, you know. And I think it's gonna be Kansas City. I think Kansas City.
All right, well, you know, first of all, you know, I'm a Browns man, so I'm only going to watch the Super Bowl with my friends and family with so much enjoyment, you know, because like I said, I'm a Browns fan. But it's hard to go against Mahomes. His brother and came out here and done balled and stuff like that. And once again, you can't be fucking with them Heights boys. And I remember Kelsey. You know, I mean, Kelsey's a Heights boy. I'm a Heights boy, and you know, remember playing against him in high school. So I think I'm going to go against Kansas City.
Do you got an interesting story from?
Yeah, you know what? I tell you what. We was playing them in basketball. Keeley had just transferred back to Cleveland Heights because people didn't understand. He started in Cleveland Heights, moved to Solon, moved to Bedford, then he moved back to Cleveland Heights. So we were playing them, and everybody, Keeley this, Keeley that. We get down, we have a 2-point lead with about 35 seconds to go. We time out, everybody, man, keep an eye on Keeley. I'm like, Keeley? Look at Kelsey's the one we got to watch, you know, because he didn't have no fear. Gets the ball, takes it, keep passing to Keeley. We all on Keeley, pass to Kelsey. Kelsey gets it, takes it around, boom, goes up 2 points. We lose by 1. So and then when I see him, you know, for Cap's funeral and all like that, you know, I mentioned it to him, and he's just, like I said, he's a good person, you know.
All right, now Coach E. All right, now.
Hey, get your phone ready, B, because I have breaking news. I know I said what I said at the beginning of the year. I know I picked the Super Bowl. What's my favorite shoes I always wear? Not these. You always see me in some flip-flops, right? So I'm flopping right now. So I'm going with my boy, my homies, man. Yeah. I always told y'all, no matter what they had to do this year, that they was going to be in the Super Bowl. It was a road test. They was always the home team last couple years coming up, leading up to this thing. Can't bet against them, just like these two said. I will never bet against Mahomes until you show me that you can beat this dude. And nobody has shown me except your boy, Tom. That's the only one that beat him. So until Tom come back, you're going to have to show me you can beat that boy, man.
Hold on.
So I'm going Kansas City, Zen.
Ooh, he flip-flop. All right.
Flip-flop.
But, so you You got the picky in San Fran. All right. You got that done. All right,
It's
cool.
hard to do though. It's hard to do.
Oh man, wait. Oh man. All right.
can't go against
I
my
gotta
homeboy.
do that. I gotta do it then. Okay. All right. But on the flip side, if Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy was to pull this out, what does that change for their legacy moving forward?
There, as in them together, or just Shanahan, period?
Shanahan, period. He was the offensive coordinator when Tom came back from 28-3.
Mm-hmm.
He lost when he had Jimmy G. Previously to San Francisco, he's been known not to show up in the big games. Now, if he can pull this off against a Patrick Mahomes, how does the perception change for him moving forward? And then if Brock Purdy, the game manager, is to be able to manage a game that outdo Patrick Mahomes, what's the perception moving forward for him?
So that's twofold right there. I'm going to start with the Purdy one. The Purdy one, I told you, this is the perfect system for him in order to be the player that he is. Because if it wasn't, he wouldn't be this far along in the game. But as far as Shanahan goes, I don't think that does. And I mean, of course, he'll have a Super Bowl championship, but everybody will still see him as questionable because of the ones that he blew before that. Just like my whole Giannis situation. It took me about 2 or 3 years for me to say Giannis is a good basketball player. I used to just say he's the best athlete in the NBA, not the best basketball player. So if Shanahan wins this, I'm still not going to say he's the best coach in the NFL. He just happened to get one this year, but you're going to have to prove it to me. So if you get this year, you got to stack them now in order for me to say you switching your legacy and how I looked at you before from the previous 3 that you blown. So this one, it ain't really going to make me say, yeah, he's the one. But if you continuously stack them, then I'll think about it.
You shaking your head. You over here shaking your head.
It ain't no way in the blue hell that Mr. Irrelevant is gonna beat Patrick, my homeboy. It's no way. Look, I can't even go against E on this one. I gotta agree with E. I can't do it. It's no
Flag
way.
that clip right there. That ain't
no
never
way.
happened.
It's no way it's gonna happen, man. Shanahan, he did that with Brady, but it's Tom Brady. And the closest thing to Brady is in Tampa Bay right now, renegotiating his contract, and Baker Mayfield.
Hey,
Pro Bowl
goodbye,
MVP.
goodbye. What
You
is
know
he
what I
doing
mean?
over
That's
here?
the closest thing. And Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield. That's your Rushmore.
I mean, if you got the Jims and the Joes, everybody's a great coach.
Hey.
So I mean, like that's why the best coach in the NFL to me is Mike Tomlin. I don't care what
I
Steelers
hate
have done this
Tomlin,
year.
but I gotta give you
Dude
his
has never
respect.
had a losing record.
With janitors, squeegees,
Yeah.
pool boys. I mean, whoever showed up to practice.
Kind of like it is, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I
You
gotta
don't
respect.
BS.
It. Yeah, I gotta respect. it.
Don't BS.
Okay, if you beat who's looked at as the baby goat
Right.
with the game manager, Mr. Irrelevant that he just mentioned,
You walk alone, Zia.
I'm not picking.
Who
I'm
you
asking a
picking?
question. I'm asking a question.
He look.
Because
The game
Coach E
manager
said
is-
it wouldn't change it. But I'm sitting here thinking, if you can outdo who's considered the next in line to become the greatest of all time, and you do it with Mr. Irrelevant,
No way.
that's
But-
gotta be
But
go
will
towards something.
you be back though?
Everybody can do it.
And once again, it ain't the quarterbacks playing against each other. It's the football team got.
Oh, no,
They got 30
no.
offense, defense.
Chris McCaffrey throwing into
Right. I'm catching a punt,
Ayuk,
returning
Kittle.
it. You don't know
That's
what's
true to y'all true football heads, but Lamar Jackson lost that game last week. I'm sorry. He was terrible. The quarterback is always going to get the blame. I mean,
Yeah.
if he come out
why
awful
he
with
gets
the
the
light
money.
break,
All
right,
right.
he get the money. He
He
asks
gets
for
the
the
money.
money.
Gets
Get
the
the
blame.
money. So, hey, no way. So you ain't picking? You picking San Fran? You sticking on the limb?
Man.
Yeah, I don't pick.
I was about to say, man, you know
I'm
he ain't
the
picking
moderator
shit,
here.
man.
I just asked the questions here, folks. So,
Kansas City position.
I gotta ask my coach,
okay.
LeBron or Jordan.
Oh, man, they too.
Good answer.
I mean, first of all, Michael Jordan's a Q. I'm a Q.
Good answer.
I never get hurt stepping in the hallway, boy.
we tried to play LeBron. They wouldn't. They didn't play us because they was going on that big time schedule. We played them the next year and we beat them at Bedford by a point.
Oh wow.
Osby.
Oh,
No, Brown was gone.
Yeah.
And that's the year after he left.
Could y'all beat LeBron? The GOAT?
No, man, we couldn't. I doubt it. I doubt it. That boy's bad.
Yeah, I don't see who would have defended him.
Yeah,
Even with that team y'all had.
Right.
I was gonna tell you.
Jamin couldn't have defended him.
I would have fought the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He ain't dunking on me.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
We done went down.
Yeah.
We went down battling.
Maybe we won off an injury from that.
Hey, it would have been a fight. It would have been Bedford versus
Yeah,
True
absolutely.
Form, baby. Yeah. But
Or it would have been a story like, he was on LeBron's back and he dunked on him anyway. Still telling that story.
You know,
It would not.
Yeah, I'd rather be on punishment than that happen. Ain't
Ron
going.
might have not had a career because Ed would have pushed him. He'd did something like it was not happening.
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Can't do that.
it wouldn't happen.
That's when the other day we was playing Garfield and they was beating us real bad.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds, Sonny Johnson's son just went in for a master dunk. And I looked at Evan and I'm like, man, God, back in the day, man, we would have jacked him up. We wouldn't have let him. We wouldn't have let him dunk on us like that. We would have jacked his butt up and over it. Not try to hurt him.
You know.
But yeah,
All I had to do was turn to her and say, "You already know."
and then Ed would do stuff and him would just be like, he's gonna do one of those. It's you got it. All right, now let's get get back in. But,
Well, Coach Hurd, it has been a pleasure, man. A round of applause. Hey,
Yes.
you lived up to the hype. Hey,
Yes.
our podcast future might be good over after all. Now, we might be able to keep going forward now.
I appreciate it. Once again, being from Warrensville, I know Chimes and Johnny Simmons and all them. Yeah, Johnny's my good friend too. So, we had battles on Warrensville, and Chanel was there. So it was it's a great feeling, great time. And as I told a lot of the fellas, that when they got into arguments with people from other teams, they're going to be your best friends 10 years from now. They're going to be your best friends.
Appreciate you, her,
No
man.
problem, man. Always
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
Appreciate you, too.
All right.
Appreciate my wife.
Thank you, Miss Her, for staying this late.
It's late, but hold on.
We about to get.
Hold on. Before we get out of here, we gotta end things properly.
No doubt.
We do things decency and in order around here.
No doubt.
Go ahead.
All I can say it. Good pie. Was that it? Coach G.
Yes.
Got a post-game word for the people.
Yes, I do, grown ass man. BC Byron. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gather round, take a knee, all eyes on me. Today's word is your past will affect your future. I'm say it again, look at you now, Rick. Your past will affect your future. I'm sitting here in the room with two people that has been near and dear to me for years. So that is a living testimony how your past will affect your future. There's no way you could have told me at 14 years old when I met this man that he would be sitting next to me on this show, on this couch, in this room, exchanging stories the way we just did. There's no way you could have told me this man sitting next to me would be sitting next to me every day at practice, basketball at that, at every game, every practice, after practice, outside of the school. I've learned so much from this man that I apply to my life still to this day and will continue on in the years after this day and the years going on in my life. So your past will immediately affect your future. Now it's up to you which way it could go. It can go positive, it can go negative. But the way I was raised, I had no choice but to affect it positively. And with this role model, he leaves you no choice but for him to affect your future positively from meeting him in your past. So, whatever you do, just remember your past will affect your future.
That's deep. Deeper than deep.
And shout out to Magna Wine Boutique for hosting us one more time. Fellas, yes.
The Linder sisters.
Yeah, see, Deb, you thought he forgot, didn't you? This man don't forget what color shoelaces he had on in 78. Let alone forget a human. That ain't gonna happen.
Hey, Coach E, tell the people where they can stop by if they want to browse the selection of wine here.
Once again, Magna Wine Boutique at 661 Broadway Avenue, downtown Bedford, Ohio, 44146. So I am a wine club member. So why are you not a wine club member? Deb, what they doing? You better come up here, holla at Deb, get you together, pick up your wine every single month. Because I just picked mine up at the beginning of the show. Hello.
And with that being said, it's a wrap.
See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to Game for All Seasons with Coach E. Please remember to hit the like or subscribe button. Also, make sure to follow Coach E on Instagram at BigF216 or on Twitter at BigF216. And be sure to check out Coach E's Perfect Time Fitness Facebook page. If you're in the Cleveland area, contact us via email at eacurry1@gmail.com for one-on-one or group training sessions. Our theme music provided by Mr. Taboo Timmons on SoundCloud at Mr. Taboo Timmons. Once again, thanks for listening and see you next week.